And we're back. Thanks everyone for joining us on I've Got Next. Once again, I'm joined by Smeef Erickson.
It's always red in these rooms. Oh, what's the jitter?
Boy, I don't know.
Okay, so that wasn't just me having a stroke?
No, and I don't think it was an SCP or a object of power there. I don't know.
No. Remember, every glitch in this is an intentional game design.
Yeah. It didn't look like that in the gameplay, so something to do with the recording, I guess.
Oh well.
All right.
Nope.
The
T-Rex is somewhere.
It's gonna come down.
That or what's his name from Resident Evil 2?
Mr. X. Oh,
no,
that
Mr. X. That's it.
Nemesis. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
X
that
was
Nemesis. I get them all mixed up because I think I've only played Village and I think the original Resident Evil.
Yeah. Bad acting aside, that coming to a time, you know, like we talk shit about it now, you know, tank controls, but it's what we had, and somehow the isometric camera really worked for it, and I never got confused to it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my point of reference is Silent Hill, and I don't know. I still don't care for the tank controls. I realize they're an artistic choice in most cases. Oh, hey, some more black mold. It kind of looks underwatery, but it hurts you and causes little psychedelic effects if you get near it. So we are not ready to explore those rooms.
Well, this is also like I think Resident Evil was released, as well as Silent Hill. I think they were both released before the PlayStation released the DualShock.
Mm-hmm.
So that tank controls would have they would have kind of been the other option.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it's easy to say now and criticize, but you know, I don't know that I could go back to them.
Oh no, I could. That would be regressing.
And now you see the point that I remember. I have a little mini quest to kill 5 enemies with melee.
I like that one security guard, like, his head wasn't quite on all the way.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, we learn about the home safe. Another object of power that perhaps will come up.
And I'm not. This is in no way a criticism, because it is a very, very awesome the source material. But I mean, this is very much influenced by SCP Foundation. That's not a criticism. It's if anything, it's a praise.
Yeah, I would say that it's the SCP Foundation with focus. So everything builds towards a good story. I like the SCP Foundation, but I find a lot of their stuff is like, and this ultimate god-powered item that super powered, and, you know, after the 15th or 16th one of those, it starts to blur.
Yeah, I just like well, I mean, you know, SCP Foundation, it's a collective, so there's no one author. I mean, you could literally, if it was interesting enough, you can add your own SCP. I just quite like them because it's not lore rich. I mean, they've tried to make it concise in the fact that prisoners are cannon fodder for testing these anomalies. But that's about the extent of it. Is like, you know, if you explore this anomaly and you survive, you'll be released.
Yeah, and I think that's why I say I like this, because all the SCPs. Oh, hey, dodged a little rocket there. But all the quote-unquote SCPs in this are mostly, it's like, hey, this is part of a coherent narrative and a focus. and all tends to hold together pretty well when viewed from a full story. Yeah.
I'm noticing they have their very very inconvenient means of opening doors.
Also, I love this. It's like, ah, damn it. How am I going to get through? Oh, yeah. Faden is a human being that can climb a fence.
Well, you'd be surprised about the other 500 video games that don't have that mechanic. Oh no, a 3-foot tall fence. Whatever shall I do?
A chest-high wall. I'm doomed.
I will say that there's no reason that should be in modern games, and it still is.
Yeah. But we have averted disaster.
I do like averting.
And hey, they do a little poker game.
Somebody's just racking up debt.
Yeah. But now we can actually do the directorial override so we can travel to the rest of the facility.
Neat.
And then maybe it's time to watch a little video.
Oh, puppets.
These are all the... No, we'll do... We're still got to unlock the next one. So we'll have our little hotline talking with Trench.
My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do.
Boy, did they just have this actor for 5 minutes and just
have proven themselves.
get as many clips as they could in that time?
Yeah, this actor, the voice of Max Payne, he works a lot, or did, before he passed away, worked just kind of almost like extensively with this company, it seemed like. So I think he was just game to sit around and say audio. I mean, he certainly monologued as Max Payne for enough time.
Things
Yeah,
change.
I'm sorry to hear he passed away. I didn't know that.
You suddenly see
Yeah, it was either this year or last year.
for the horror show it truly is. Filled with screaming fear we pretend to control.
Cancer sucks.
Sand leaks through my fingers. The roses I
If that's what I assume, that might have been what got him. That seems to be the most common.
family.
I don't remember, but it's possible.
Heat escapes my body.
Also, this is just like I wrote a poem for my 7th grade class. Super emo like me.
When I forget
The
that,
flowers I
there's no
gardened in my
road.
backyard
My
died.
team has to pick up pieces. Damage control.
Yeah. Well, what's that subreddit? I'm 13 and this is deep.
Yeah.
I like how in the menu screen of the phone calls, her face is just stuck on moderately annoyed.
Yeah, I think because I think it's pulled from when she picked up the gun for the first time. So it's just like with the hotline, you are not in the main world. You're talking with the afterlife or the other dimensions. So you're just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
Missed and punched a computer instead. Also, the destruction in the environments in this game just rules.
I do like a destructible environment. Yep, unfortunately he did pass from cancer.
Yeah.
To protect them.
Oh, is she injured?
Forces.
Yeah, she's working her shoulder out. They have a lot of little idle animations for her that I like.
Only be lifted by a directorial override.
I remember that used to be a big deal back in the days of N64. Holy shit, Mario can fall asleep?
Sonic too.
And it's a key? Get out of town.
Yeah, man. It's useful.
God, look at all those punch cards.
Yep. I do love just the atmosphere and the architecture.
Yeah, but that reminds me of, you know, I worked in a shipyard, and this was at a time when they still had
That's
the
it.
punch cards.
The other sector should be open
And
now.
there were only 4 lines for like
I think
500
that's when I
employees
told Emily
waiting
why
to
I'm
get
here.
out.
Ugh.
I'll risk it.
No, thank you.
You two should get to know
Nah.
each other.
All right.
Wait, you can fast travel without being inside the circle? Or are you in the circle?
We-
and I just didn't see
We're
it.
in the circle. Yeah.
okay.
This one's a little bit crowded, but this is a fast travel point. Picking up some side missions that may or may not happen.
Yeah, this would be a. I'm any game that's got side quests. I'm definitely the type that will do every single side mission before even touching the main quest.
Yeah, and I'll say that none of the side missions take very long, and they're not overbearing. Those are randomly generated, and they never go away. So there's
Yeah.
always, if you're just wanting to play and have fun, there's 1,000 more missions to do.
Yeah.
Aha! I knew there was a reason to come back this way with my new level 2 card key.
Ah.
Hey, another book review from Lopez.
What's the Unless You?
Yeah, a YA novel that just... I mean, it sounds like it has a good ending. I would love to see...
young adult.
Yeah. I'd love to see a movie end like this book ends, where you just don't know what happens and the main character dies. That would be cool. But in general, not the biggest YA fan.
Not that it's entirely, and I'm sure there's another movie. Inception sort of did that.
With the
spinning
top
top.
knot. Yeah.
Like, was he dreaming or was he not? Which,
It's a
Inception,
fun-
mid-level movie, but really, really fun.
I mean, I think it's a fun... it's a fun thought experiment, and it's fun to talk about. I don't know... The part that got me was it's not important to the story whether or not he's dreaming at the end.
Yeah, either way, he's happy.
Yeah. At least in my opinion, But it's fun to talk about and try and see or do things and figure out if the movie is trying to tell you one way or the other. But more and more of the main lobby here, or the executive floor, is stabilizing, so
You mean like in person?
you kind of more people show up.
The pencil and paper. I think she's trying to get us killed.
These two talk the entire game about stuff while they're adjusting equipment, and sometimes I just like listening to them.
Twisting knobs,
Jesse,
pulling levers.
you made it. And you lifted the internal lockdown. Let's talk, Emily.
She's like
Yes,
a
of
golden
course.
retriever. You made it. You did the thing you said you were gonna do. We sure did,
Listen,
Pope.
Emily.
Her legs, you gotta be falling asleep sitting like that the whole time.
Screw it.
She has
Just
not
tell her.
moved.
I haven't been completely honest.
Oh boy, here we go. We got some
Uh-oh.
background
I
coming
have a
in.
younger brother, Dylan. When we were kids, we found an old slide projector in Ordinary's landfill. The slides created doorways to other places. Bad
Well, that's
things
handy.
happened.
This I love because it's like a Stephen
all she
King
gets.
story that took place before the game
rest
comes
stays
around.
locked inside.
Mm-hmm.
But we found
And it
help
happened in Maine.
through one of the doorways.
I think it's Ordinary, Indiana,
Yeah,
which
something.
I may be just saying because I'm thinking of Erie, Indiana.
A being.
I knew that was a show, but
What
I
kind
remember
of being?
very little about it.
It's hard to
Oh my
describe.
god, I should go back
It-
and watch those.
Wasn't it like it was an attempt
She
at
helped
at
us.
Goosebumps?
Yeah, it
We
was like
managed to
Kids
turn the
plus
projector
X-Files.
The
Yeah.
bad things that came through the doorways were gone.
And Disney had their own version
that,
called
you're
So
being
Weird, I think.
Tried to grab us. I
And
ran
Nick
away.
had Are You Afraid of the Dark?
They got it.
The perfect show, and I will hear no other about that.
Bureau agents took your brother.
I don't remember any of it.
Yes.
I like
Covered it
like
up.
well, Okay, like the first
No one
3 or 4 seasons were good.
I just want to find
And
Dylan.
Yeah,
been looking for him
I'm
ever
speaking with
since.
rose-tinted glasses out here, but you
What
know,
happened to the
I
slide
love the show.
projector? It sounds like another object of power.
I thought you took it.
Yeah, so we find out that,
Bureau.
hey, Dylan and
Along with
her
Dylan.
brother was taken by the Bureau.
I've
So
never heard
theoretically,
But around
her brother
here,
is
I
here
assume
somewhere.
everything's classified. You know, I looked into the ordinary AWE case files.
Is
after
that who
the
she's
incident.
communicating with, or do we
Trench
know
and
that, or
Darling were
is
both
that hinted at?
involved.
no.
A large area
It's
of
hinted
the
that
containment sector was
one of
reserved
the
for it.
slide
The
projector's
case
other
hasn't been active
worlds,
for a long time. I have no
they
idea
found a
if anything's
being.
still there.
I don't know if she named
Can you
it
tell me
here
more
or not.
about this being
Oh yeah, here
you
we go.
found?
We're about to learn.
Let's hope you two get along.
She's been with me ever since Ordinary.
So yeah, the blue kaleidoscope is this creature
She led me to you.
they found in one
I
of the
call her
slides.
Polaris.
Polaris,
As in a guiding star.
a good, a not too bad '90s band.
No, I actually named her after the outboard engine. I was really into boating at the time.
Powerful. Which may help explain your test results.
Actually,
Your readings are
most people
incredible,
from our
Jesse.
generation would know who Polaris is.
Cross-referencing
They
the
sang the
database, I found two
intro
matches
to
in
Pete and
Darling's
Pete.
old classified files.
Ah.
Fortunately, I can't access them beyond the file codes. But one was P6, referring to a prime.
Okay, so I
candidate
kind of
for a
missed it.
potential
Is
future
how
war
would she
director.
take the ghost news?
This was logged years ago.
She's just like, oh, that might explain why when we tested you, you have
The other
an
match
incredible
is on
amount of
something called
abilities,
Hedron,
and why
which
the
must
hiss
be
can't get
connected
you.
to these Hedron
Oh,
resonance
she has
amplifiers
midichlorians.
somehow.
Yes.
All I know is that Marshall went to the research sector to secure the HRA production after the hiss first attacked.
So, Marshall seems like our best lead on Dylan.
I need to go after her. How can I get to the research sector?
Use my key card. The sector elevator will take you there.
Heck yeah, getting those clearance levels up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be able to open all the doors soon.
Marshall.
gotta
is
get
the
the level
next
3
step.
card.
Yeah, now we get a better
Emily
look at
told
that
me
French.
about
Sniper Wolf.
Ordinary, my powers being connected to things in the Bureau's past. I am so close to something.
Ooh, now we're
Do you
going
feel
noir.
Yeah, it's
Something's
good.
coming.
I love it.
We take turns to come for a visit.
Hey,
I
Ati.
helped you. You owe me now.
He looks like he's got a bad back and
time
saddle
comes,
sore at the same time.
I will come call.
It's one of those things where I'm betting you didn't even invite Adi to that that little reminisce there. He just shows up. Hey, how's it
Hi,
going?
Jesse.
I'd love it. I would absolutely die if
See you soon.
like you're going through this whole
Careful out there.
like really emotional and in-depth cutscene, and he just excuse me. He's just like scoots by with a push broom.
I need to clean up. Someone vomit and I'm all out of cat litter. You saw it pop up there briefly, but there is a new form of side missions. These are just timed and show up, as in like, hey, go assassinate this named person or go protect somebody. Again, more side missions. They
It looks
don't
like it
matter.
is used for leveling up.
Yeah, and it's you don't lose anything from not paying attention to them. But it's just extra stuff you can do if you want to play around with the combat or level up some more.
The situation's getting worse.
I saw Trench and Darling arguing a couple weeks.
Yeah, more level up. Really good and useful thing. Now with our telekinesis, we can grab grenades and rockets and throw them back.
Nice.
Yeah. And then get some more energy going.
Though Trench was furious. You don't think Darling?
And then my dream, but still no extra clothing. Meh.
Aw.
I need to unlock the rabbit suit or something.
That was what was that? That was DLC in 4 in MGS4 where you could have the I think it was Altair costume.
Yes. I know it was in Peace Walker. I don't know if it was in 4 or not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It looks like it is used for leveling up.
Yeah, more level up. Really good and useful thing. Now with our telekinesis, we can grab grenades and rockets and throw them back.
Nice.
My favorite being in Peace Walker had all kinds of I don't know if you want to call them selling out or something like that, but they had all kinds of brand sponsorship. They had Monster Energy, which didn't make it to the States, but your energy drinks in the game were Monster Energy drinks in Japan.
Okay.
And then you had a soothing cologne you could put on to like calm your nerves or whatever, and it was Axe body spray in Japan. Or Lynx, I guess, depending on where you were. But
I think product placement does work different in the U.S.
yeah, so again, it wasn't bad. I kind of liked it. I do believe I get a little lost here, so we can vamp and cut this out if needed. We're just trying to get to the training course, the part of the game that I suck at, and I don't know why.
Played by Phil Lamar.
Oh yeah. My favorite Phil Lamar performance is him getting shot in Pulp Fiction. It's really weird to see him.
His face obliterated.
Yeah, he's played Marvin, and to see him just go from like casually sitting in the back of the car, getting shot, and then you see him doing like Hermes Conrad and things like that in Futurama. The dude's great.
Yeah, and he was the hyperactive UPS delivery man on Mad TV.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. Brand new shields. It's like I know that the bullets can't hurt the shield. It's still. Ugh, ow! Didn't catch that grenade.
Prism fart gas. I do like their faces kind of reminiscent of Rorschach.
Like a Rorschach test.
Yeah, or what was Dr. Manhattan. What series was he from?
But that was Rorschach was his name based on the test. A very good comic book, and I think a very good movie, unless you watch the director's cut, which adds a whole bunch of animated BS to it. It's like, yeah, it was in the comic, but it just drags the movie down so much. I have the collector's edition here somewhere. Watchmen is the name of the.
Okay, yeah. I do like the actor that played him, that played Rorschach. It's a shame that they tried to make Nightmare on Elm Street into something that it wasn't.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know that I've seen him in anything else. But hey, we find out what those little clusters of pixels are. Apparently,
Cuties?
When the hiss want to lock a door, and you need to unlock it. You have to find and shoot the little bismuth clusters.
Okay. But yeah, he played in the attempt at rebooting Nightmare on Elm Street. He played Freddy.
Okay.
But the problem is they made him, or they made him scary instead of hammy.
Oh,
Like,
that stinks.
Yeah, it's kind of when you sort of miss the point of what the source material was and try to make something new and just ruin it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be more, I guess, objective. Also, hey, there's Nixon.
No. Haru.
And I guess Gomez Adams there in the top right. I don't know who that was supposed to be, but I'm sure there's somewhere there's a history buff who's like, that's clearly that person.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I apologize to everyone.
So I just read this.
I am awful at this particular part of the game. I don't know why. Something about having a amount of time to get through this course completely saps anything.
I don't like time trials. I'll just say it. I'm sort of with you on that. I do not like time trials. They're just.
I will be. I will be cutting out a lot of this, and I'm like, oh, I forgot. You got to shoot the target. And then, yeah, all I can do is really apologize. There's no excuse for this. I've played video games before.
Yeah, and I cannot play. I cannot effectively play an FPS with a controller. It has to be a mouse.
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, I'm equally bad with the mouse. As spoilers, I will show you. Yeah, let me waste all my energy, try and figure out this room or remember what this puzzle does. And it's like, huh, yeah. And you only have a minute to get through this course, I should say. There is one good thing about failing up this so bad is that I discovered that there's some. Oh, God.
Almost.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Let me just hop on the floor.
Maybe I'll montage this out, put a little music cue in it, and just fast forward through my shame. Yeah, so it's just like, hey, say whatever that's gonna. Oh my God. Well, I'm sure glad I'm cutting all of this out.
And they gave you gymnastic pads to fall on.
Yep, let me fall off the other side now. Doodly doodly doo. Bwomp. Oh wait,
Running
wait,
up
one
against.
second.
Oh.
Course failed. Try again, Ranger.
Fuck you, awkward voice recording.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, and there's all these. There's like a bunch of subcategories to speedruns now as well, like any percent, all main quest items, 100%.
Thank God.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, I
Air
generally.
golem?
No, so now you see that this item is protecting itself. Jinx there, Jesse. And so it's another object of power. It is one that I perhaps use the least. But, just for completion's sake.
Oh, the wall safe. Okay.
Yeah, I remember we read about it earlier. Let's see what it do.
We go back into the X zone.
Yeah. The cool looking marble granite zone. So now you get a shield power.
Oh, throwing the ground up at you?
Yeah, it just protects you with a little shield. It can block bullets if you're trying to get through an area under fire.
That's a pretty cool mechanic.
It is. It's a super cool mechanic. The only downside being is that, at least for the first 3 levels, this is all it does.
I'm assuming eventually you can level it up and fling the debris.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so, but it takes a little investiture points, and you can't attack or anything while the shield isn't up. And as you see, it doesn't last forever starting out. So, I'm sure there's a use for it. I've never been big on it. I might try and play a little bit, but it is great for just like, hey, I need to leave this area under fire.
Okay.
And it, lets you look at their particle and physics engine a little more. Yeah. I don't know if stuff can still get through, but it seems to block everything from these guys at least. So fun, but situational.
Yeah.
I were making one of those tier lists for powers.
Yeah.
There you go. Like, and here it is. It's like, hey, do you want to use your powers? It's like, I mean, I certainly could, or it's like I could just fight them and kill them all. But, and I think I tested a little bit here. It's like, hey, I've got a shield. Woo!
It would be even cooler if, because they have destructible, you have destructible scenery. It'd be really cool if like the actual floor just come up.
And I think with this turned all the way up, it does tend to pull and damage the environment. Little sniper up there. So it's like, yeah, you know, I could do the shield and leave. But, you know, how useful is it? Anyways.
I will have to listen after we get this recorded. But the little noise that it makes when she picks up an object, I don't know if you've ever seen it. There was a movie called Batteries Not Included.
Yeah, yeah.
That had little
stuff.
flying robots.
Mm-hmm.
It's
the 80s or 90s?
I'd probably say 80s. But it sounds like those little robots.
I can understand. It has this little noise whenever you throw stuff. We actually can't go this way, but there's a cool visual over here that I wanted to.
Boy, going from one room to another, though, that bloom will blind you.
Mm-hmm. You know, a very cool effect you've made yourself there, guys, but sometimes I don't need sparkly.
Yeah.
A seismograph.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looked like that old, the wax cylinder recorder that, what was it, one of Edison's inventions?
Oh, yeah, they're like the early phonograph.
Yeah, well, I say Edison, but, I mean, Edison pretty much just stole everyone else's work and took credit, put his name on it.
Like, oh, this is something called the Black Rock facility. I just like this little bit of environmental storytelling.
I would be uncomfortable in there.
Yep, so am I. Time to leave. Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. No, why did you put these on an automated timer?
Also, how many employees have been squished? You knocked the coffee pot over.
I did. Nope. Somebody made a report that Trench didn't like.
Uh-oh.
Time to go in the boo box. Anyways, we'll come back here once we get another clearance level.
Ooh, level 4 card.
Yeah.
You gotta find Hal, Emmerich.
Yeah. I like that you specified, not the 2001 computer.
I mean, it really, that reference could have gone either way.
Just like one of my Japanese animes.
Are you
You're
an
right.
otaku too?
Yeah, clearly. I did like, I don't know if you saw the pictures from the most recent Otaku convention. They referenced that in their like welcoming poster.
Nice.
All right, our first little entry to the research sector.
Boy, that Hal Emmerich's story arc throughout the series got weird.
Yeah, His dad too. Oh, a movie.
Oh.
Darling, head of research. Somebody thought this video would make for great internal communications. I'm looking at you, Mr. Tomasi. So,
He is wearing a
sort of
sweater
magic
vest.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've been here for 20
And
years
a
now.
bow tie. I mean, he
I've
is.
always been here. And
Must have
through
been a
those
ladies' man.
years, we've made astonishing discoveries. Authored studies
I
of
love
importance,
these two
and in
researchers
all
here.
this work, there is one thing
You
we
actually
know,
find notes
and that's
between the two
how
of
we
them,
live.
and it's very funny.
Rest assured, we're committed to keep pushing the known
Right.
laws and orders of reality.
Don't look at the
and to
camera.
make the Bureau proud.
I love this. I just
Welcome.
just
Assuming
all
you
this
have the necessary
awkwardness and
clearance
corporate
and to follow
video
the safety
stuff I
protocols.
love.
Read the manual. Otherwise, bad things will happen.
I like the hotline poster in the background. So, where did the hotline go to if
Research sector,
before he
huh?
died?
Home of the Bureau's
He
mad
used it to communicate with the
scientists.
board, just like we do.
Okay.
And then also probably his predecessor, Northmore. But screw story, more offices to snoop through.
Oh yeah.
Oh, plants. Somebody pissed off that Ati keeps playing music and singing to the plants.
You leave Ati alone.
A little bit about the safe. The weird creepiness of the fact that blood seeps out of it sometimes, and that when they take x-rays of it, there's something living inside and moving.
Well, stick it in the Catholic Church and call it a relic.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? It's a good word. There's a word for the container that houses the body of Christ during Mass. I believe it's called a monstrum.
Oh, I'm not gonna know that one.
I'll have to fact check that. But yeah, good word. Never ever used in normal society.
Some notes.
Yeah, shoebox
Shoebox
notes. I was close. It's a monstrance,
Ah,
also known as an instansorium or an instansory.
I want one of those. I want one of those flails that they sling smoke at everybody with.
Yeah, the sensor. Good stuff.
Alright.
Warhammer, the Skaven used them for combat.
Oh,
Good board meeting, everyone. Also, excellent shadows.
must have been a real drag.
Synchronicity.
Science.
Yeah, what we would now, I would say, or what, more popularly known as like quantum entanglement.
Mm-hmm.
Just two things that are connected.
Yeah,
just
I
love
like reading through like quantum, not necessarily quantum physics, but like theoretical physics and quantum mechanics. I like reading about it sometimes, but the only problem is like it's still such a new field, and like they've not directly like everything that's been most things that show up that get peer reviewed are still just inconclusive.
Yeah, two more of these flying guys.
I like that it's swimming at you.
Yeah. It's almost like they can't really control it. They're just flailing about like, whoop, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get over there. Then you'll be sorry. Also, I like that this place is large enough to house two redwood trees just in the middle of it.
You know what? That's environmentalism.
I love it. I think it's a very striking visual note here.
God, when you think about how just like these trees, redwood, they're like what, 300 and sometimes 600 years old, and we just all willy-nilly knock them down because
Well,
hey, I want a pretty table.
I think quite a few of them are protected now.
They're all protected now.
There was a pretty big fire a couple of years ago that tore up some of them. I actually took a weekend trip out there to go drive through right before the fires got close.
Oh.
Very lovely, and there's some lovely beaches down that drive.
Does it get warm enough for beach weather up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets a very pleasant, comfortable
30 below
temperature
zero.
for the beach. I could have lived on that beach.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty stuff that we did on the island. We got to get from there.
Yeah, it gets real hot down there, but yeah, I think California is that, but it never gets unpleasant.
Yeah, I don't think I could do Cali. Not the same.
Well, the thing to remember is California is a very big place, so there are quite a few different cultures there.
Nope, it's all one. It's all one thing. All of California is just Hollywood.
Yeah. San Bernardino. But, this combat, not a whole lot to really say after a while, at least with these. Like, there's no pressure for this. These guys can really do a whole lot to hurt you. You have enough cover. This is just on the normal difficulty. I'm sure there's some ways to bump it up and make it not fun to play.
Is this one of those games where some of the villains just have like uncanny dodge?
Well, those specifically can dodge telekinetic throws, but I still do it because it throws them off of their attack routine. So you can keep them from attacking forever as long as you just chuck something at them every once in a while.
Why do those squares on the wall look like puzzle solutions?
Yes. Why do they look like puzzle solutions?
Oh, did I pick that up? Okay.
Yes. It is actually foreshadowing. A lot of the card keys you pick up with different levels of access have those squares on them. So it's some kind of like security puzzle that's throughout the facility. This is Dr. Darling's office.
Dr. Darling. That sounds like a James Bond character.
I think there was a Darling in James Bond. I'd have to double check. But yeah, just all over the place. He's built little 3D models of the squares. Heck yeah, executive clacky balls.
What?
If you'd like,
that box just like spontaneously produced more files.
Yeah, little physics edge there.
No, it was intentional.
That particular shape, the cube inside of another cube with connecting lines to the corners, is a tesseract. Which I think if you've seen the thriller movie Cube, they talk about that there.
Man, that's a movie that's not talked about enough. I rewatched that like last year. I forgot that the acting was kind of shit, but the movie was actually a really, really cool idea.
After a slight video crap out, we are back.
Speaking of Bond characters, I'll say for me kind of how Austin Powers just sort of wanted to, well, they successfully parodied James Bond. The humor doesn't really resonate that for me, but I did like at least in the first 2 movies, because Bond, at least 2 that I can think of, had like 2 love interests with suggestive names. One being, Honey Rider, which I think she was from like Dr. No. But then, of course, you got Goldfinger with, Pussy Galore. And,
I believe that was from Octopussy.
Was it? Okay.
Maybe I'm confused. It's been a long time since I've watched the old ones. But yeah, I know there was also Octopussy, and I thought Pussy Galore was from that.
Yeah, she may have been. But like, I do. It was really funny because it wasn't clever. It wasn't clever, but it was still just really funny. The one character, a lot of vagina.
Jesus, I like that one. There is a good bit in GoldenEye where the Femke Janssen's character, if you remember, nice little sextant there. If you remember from the X-Men series, she plays Phoenix and Jean Grey.
Okay, yeah.
She played a Russian sadist who got off on killing people. In GoldenEye, her character's name is Xenia Onatop. And every single character in the movie makes fun of that name throughout the whole movie. It's just great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking this with me.
Nice. It measures angles.
Well, that and, angle of stars and good navigation tool. But guess what? Right now, murder weapon. It almost kills me to use it, but it's worth it. Get sextanted. Those guys are snipers. They hit very, very hard. But it takes them forever to fire.
When you said you were going to sextant me to death, I thought you were talking about something else.
Okay. Just collect some health. You're fine. So this game's combat does prioritize movement a whole lot. You constantly want to kill things, collect health if you've gotten hurt. You get hit a lot less if you're moving. Another one of these little doors to unlock here. Are you dead yet? Are you not dead yet? Okay. And I believe there is a little bit of a time issue. If you don't kill them all within a pretty generous time. Yeah. I think it just assumes you're leaving the area.
There is something that is still somewhat eerie about just the bodies floating.
Oh yeah. Great atmosphere in this with the just that harsh ass business architecture with these bodies floating around.
Is that a boss you're fighting?
So he's a named character. Generally these are just like mini bosses, I guess. A little bit of story of hey, these guys worked in this area.
Okay.
So you'll come across security chiefs and things like that.
That was Carl. He always brought in cookies on Wednesdays.
All right. Unlock that. There it is.
Nice.
Just chair to the back of the head and then smack to the face. So, do I go to parapsychology or do I continue looking? We'll go down. We'll come back. I'm gonna go check out the cafeteria, see if they got some otter pops.
Oh man, that's a blast from the past.
Here we see more evidence of the mold, and it just seems to be kind of uncontrollable.
I also like the bit of greenery that they got on the wall there.
So we're learning a little bit more about Black Rock from the quarry, which is apparently very important. But also, one of the alternate dimensions or whatever opened up to the mold, and apparently, as you can see, it seems to be quite an extensive task to get rid of it.
This looks like an expensive building.
Go back here, check some bathrooms out. As is my haunt.
And they got intercom system in there.
Yeah, I just like to give a little compare. You know, how does the R&D bathroom compare to the executive?
You know, apparently it's just an American thing that have stalls that people can just actively look into.
Yeah, no fun, but at least American culture hasn't caught on yet to charging for public bathroom uses, at least in most of the places I've been.
Oof.
Because that sucks. It's like, hey, 50 cents or $1 to use the restroom.
How bad do you gotta go?
Now we learn about the names of the two characters in the background of Darling's training videos. Hubert, or Hubert and Carla. And Hubert's got it bad and is awkwardly hitting on Carla.
And Carla is married to science.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah. Like it. Got a little techno.
Jesse's recreating the breakdance from the Olympics.
I was thinking she's the techno Viking.
You leave him alone. He is a treasure. Ooh. I mean, I know it's old news by this time, but man, did you see that? So, first of all, having breakdancing in the Olympics is... I do not want to undervalue what breakdancing is. It is a skill. I do not have it. I couldn't do it. It's just...
But you want to undervalue it some?
It's odd for me to see it in the Olympics. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I did not watch. I've heard and read multiple things about, was it Ray Gunn from Australia?
Yeah.
Apparently people were not satisfied with her work. I don't know, man. I don't know that I care if anything gets excluded or included into the Olympics. It just seems like a fun way to like show off as a country. Which I think is good. I've seen some good looking breakdancing though, so I don't see why it couldn't be in the Olympics. All right.
I'm just trying to imagine how that would go over in ancient Rome.
I would say that if Rome
She's in
judged
trouble.
us for
I
anything,
need to reach her.
that's pot meeting kettle. I mean, they were, let's just say, no stranger to doing weird ass shit and turning it into a sport. I think even competitive eating, like, first started cropping up back then. I don't know why I got obsessed with this intercom system, but it's like but we did hear somebody for
get to the red.
Yeah, we did hear for a split second there Marshall talking over the intercom.
Oh, okay.
So we at least know she is at this moment alive. Oh dear.
Oh, headaches.
Thwack. Gotta feel so good to smack somebody with it. Fire extinguisher. Also, it's good to know fire extinguishers explode in smoke. If you pick up anything explosive, it detonates. You can see the giant thermal scope they have on the sniper rifles, if needed. Aha! That was worth an achievement.
But you get it.
Catch a rocket and throw it back at him.
What game did that? I'm trying to think.
Trying to think. Let's see.
Like, it's sitting in the back of my head. Like, I can see the animation. I'm just not sure what game it was from. It was like I remember there's a red blinking rocket flying at you, and you have like a whip or something, and you just grab the rocket and fling it back at him.
Yeah, I think every game that has some way to throw the environment around does it. Because a Half-Life did it. with the gravity gun.
I'm dumb. I was thinking about Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Real solid, that.
Yeah, I mean, universally, the one thing that everybody complained about is the web swinging, and they, with this last game that they, rebooted it with, seemed to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Spider-Man 2016 or whatever it was the first PlayStation game I really bothered to sit and platinum. I have not finished the second one.
Haven't even picked it up. And that was just talking about the thermal scopes.
Yeah, among other things, it just gives you a little description of what they did and their background. Alrighty.
Why is he speaking to him with earmuffs?
Similar to an iceberg, what you see is not what you always get.
They're just noise reduction.
Vitally important to the Bureau. Most information on the astral
Oh, those look like standing. Those look like standing on a runway headphones.
Keep in mind that these are staggeringly complex systems, and simplification does them no justice. Now, the white non-space, the ever-present inverted black pyramid. The board, all linked.
Thank goodness he pointed it out.
I drew it.
Tied to the director. The process of choosing a director tied to all objects of power in terms of who controls them. Yes.
Thanks, darling.
Point.
Alrighty, I think, that is going to do it for another episode of I've Got Next. I'm joined, always, by my co-host, Smeef and Austin.
It's been a blast.
And if I can leave you with one thing, chicken.
Rotisserie.